When you take your sweetheart on a picnic, you're likely to take along one of these. An insulated cooler. It keeps hot things warm on a cold day and cold things cool on a hot day. The walls and the lid are insulated to keep heat from passing in or out. And the lid fits snugly to prevent an air exchange between the inside and the outside. Well, that's pretty much how your home's supposed to work, creating a separate environment from the inside to the outside. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Your home, like a picnic cooler, is designed to create an internal environment that's comfortable for you and your family. A well-performing home starts with the outer shell, what we call the building envelope or thermal envelope. It consists of the ceiling and attic, the exterior walls, the windows and doors, and the floors.
Each of these plays a vital role in how well your home performs. A weakness at any of these points compromises the integrity of the building's thermal envelope and makes it harder for your heating and cooling system to do its job.
Insulation is a key component of the building envelope. It acts like a blanket to block the transfer of heat and comes in many types. The three most common types of insulation are loose fill, rolls or bats, and the rigid board type.
Most loose fill insulation is made from recycled newspaper that's been treated with a fire retardant, or from fiberglass. It is usually blown into place using special equipment and conforms to the space into which it's installed. That makes it especially good for attic and wall insulation in older homes.
Fiberglass rolls, or bats, are sized to fit most framing, making them easy for most homeowners to install themselves. Rigid board insulation is usually made of foam or fiberglass. It's not as thick as rolled fiberglass, but resists heat transfer rather well. It is often used in walls where space is limited, and it provides an extra measure of structural support.
How well insulation resists heat transfer is defined by its R value. The higher the R value, the greater the resistance to heat gained or lost. For attic spaces, it's an R value of 30, about a foot deep depending on the type you use, and for insulation under the floor, R value of 19. If you're upgrading or adding insulation to exterior walls, current codes require R13 or higher.
If it's winter and your house is too cold, or summer and it's always too hot, it's time to check your insulation to see if you have enough. The best place to start is in the attic.
Well, there's your cue. Let's go up in the attic.
When we reach the attic, we'll use a ruler to measure the depth of the insulation. It needs to be about a foot in order to be R30. This looks to be about right.
Uh-oh. Better remove those items. They compress the insulation, which cuts down its effectiveness.
And there are a few bare spots. You're losing a lot of heat that way. You'll want to add some insulation over there.
A word to the wise. Keep insulation away from knob and tube wiring to avoid a fire hazard. You only find that sort of wiring in homes built during my day, before the 50s. Also, it's best to keep insulation away from anything that could ignite a fire, like recessed ceiling lights.
Let's check to see if you have insulation in your exterior walls. Grab a screwdriver. Find an exterior wall and remove an outlet cover to get access to the wall cavity. Now use a non-metallic stick, like a wooden skewer, to see if you can feel any insulation. Nothing there? Well, that's normal for an older home like yours.
While you're at it, why don't you install one of these before putting back the faceplate? It's an outlet gasket that helps prevent air from escaping through the walls. Place them all around the house for added savings and comfort.
Windows are a big part of your home's thermal envelope, and typically they are the weakest part. In some homes, windows can account for as much as 40% of the annual heating and cooling bills.
Windows now come in a variety of types, including wood, aluminum, fiberglass, vinyl, and composite materials. Most now come with dual panes or even triple panes with a dead air space or inert gas between the layers of glass. These provide a measure of insulation not offered by single-pane windows.
Your home may have some single-pane windows. Sitting next to one makes you feel chilly in the wintertime. That's because it's pulling heat away from your body and you feel cold.
And it's pulling money out of your wallet every month.
Replacing single-pane windows with dual-pane glass can add to your comfort and save you money. Windows allow you to manage things like solar heat that enters the home, ultraviolet rays that cause fading to carpets and upholstery, and also the amount of visible light entering a room. Select windows that let in visible light while filtering out heat and ultraviolet light. Look for the label that gives you the ratings for each of these areas.
For windows that are right for your home, get advice from a window installation professional. Windows let in both light and heat.
Got a room that gets really hot in the summertime? Use window coverings and shades to block out radiant heat during the daytime. Stop the heat before it enters the house.
Well, here's something to think about. Direct sunlight entering a 4x6 window on the west side of the house can cause a central air conditioner to run an extra hour every day. Well, that can cost you plenty.
Shade screens are another good way to block out radiant heat from rooms that get the most direct sunlight. Ask your window installer about the latest types on the market.
Sorry to interrupt your rest, but there's still work to do. In fact, you can start right where you are, under the shade of a tree.
If shade trees work to keep you cool, they'll also work to keep your house cool. Planting a deciduous shade tree on the eastern, southern, and western sides of your house helps to prevent heat buildup in the hot summer months. Then, just as the days cool down, the trees shed their leaves to let the sun warm the house in winter.
Okay, so we know that stopping the flow of heat through the walls, ceilings, and windows can save you money. But heat's not the only thing that passes between the inside and the outside of your house. There's also the air that leaks through the doorways, windows, walls, and elsewhere. And with it goes a lot of heat. Well, that's an energy thief, and we aim to stop him. So grab your caulking gun and let's get to work.
Air leaks in the walls, windows, and doors of your home compromise its energy efficiency. In fact, if you added up all of the small air leaks in a typical home, they would equal the size of a gaping hole 2 feet square. So it pays to find those tiny leaks and seal them. Here are just a few examples.
Around window and door frames, exterior vents and pipes, around pipes where they meet the wall, wherever air can pass into or out of the house.
Caulk comes in a variety of colors, and many are paintable. Today's acrylic and silicone caulks are very resilient and are able to expand and contract to adjust to varying weather conditions. That makes them ideal for just about every application around the house.
Here's a tip. If you're planning to add insulation, do your caulking first. It helps the insulation to perform more effectively by blocking air infiltration.
Doors are another place where outside air can infiltrate the house. Here's a test you can do. Take a dollar bill and drag it between the door and frame. If there's resistance, the chances are that the door is reasonably airtight. If you can see daylight between the door and the door frame, it's time to add some weather stripping around your door. Weather stripping is easy to install and takes only a few minutes.
Your local home improvement store carries a variety of weather stripping and can advise you on the best type for your needs. Also, remember to seal any gaps beneath the door. A door shoe, properly adjusted for height, will do the trick quite nicely.
Air has another escape route that we often overlook, and that's the fireplace. Make sure that the fireplace damper is tightly shut when not in use. Simply pull the ring toward you to close it.
As an added measure against heat loss, install glass fireplace doors instead of screens. They're attractive and can help to save you money in the long run.
Ah, you're back. Well, you've done a good job so far. You've tightened up your home's thermal envelope using insulation, caulking, and weather stripping. But there's more to do, so get going.